Bushiki is a visual and audio-driven story based off a 14-song soundtrack, also called Bushiki. The visuals, though not always consistent, serve as a conceptual storyboard meant to give you a rough outline of the story flow in visual form. There are two YouTube versions, one with a narrator and one without. The one without keeps the soundtrack volume consistent without any narrator interruptions. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy Bushiki. Chapter 1: Flight from the Shadows. Bushiki, a 19-year-old fisherman's son, lives peacefully with his father, mother, and younger brother by the idyllic village of Omayu by the eastern coast of Arisander. One day, dark forces from the north and west march across the coast, leaving death and destruction in their wake. Bushiki watches as his father, mother, and younger brother are massacred by the Shisori, or Scorpion, Empire. Emperor Ikendo and his Scorpion army have been laying waste to entire villages and towns across the eastern province of Arisander to lay claim to the land. Bushiki is rescued by a mysterious stranger who then takes him to the secret and bewitching Silk Spider Temple in the mountain region of Dar Kumo Gundar to recover from his mortal wounds. Bushiki wakes, he learns the truth about his family's death and vows vengeance on the Emperor and the Shisori. Chapter 2: Ormenthar and Bushiki. Bushiki's enigmatic rescuer reveals himself as Ormenthar, his grandfather, and offers to train him in the ways of the silk spider assassins. Ormenthar tells Bushiki that before he joined the Ninja Assassin Brotherhood and later became its leader, he had previously fathered a son in Omayu. Bushiki's father. Bushiki soon learns that Ormenthar and his father had a falling out years ago as Ormenthar sought to change the world, while his son only wanted a peaceful life. When Bushiki was born, Ormenthar actually asked his father if he would let him train Bushiki in the ways of the assassin. His father refused and banished Ormenthar. With his son's death, Ormenthar has taken it on himself to show Bushiki the way of the spider.
Bushiki, あなたの家族を救うためにもっとできることがあればと願っていますが、申し訳ありません。シルクスパイダーの道は誰にでも向いてけではありません。認知力、粘り強さ、鋭い観察力が必要です。
Bushiki accepts Ormenthar's offer, puts on his shinobi shozoku, or ninja clothes and gear, and prepares for his training. Chapter 3: Becoming a Silk Spider Assassin. Bushiki undergoes intense training to master the art of the silk spider assassins. After passing several tests at the temple, the training takes him up mountains, through valleys, into hiding spots, swimming stealthily across rivers to spying on nearby villages and Shizori soldiers. His fervent desire to avenge the death of his family, Ormenthar stays his hand many times to stop him from overreacting.
Bushiki, 意識を広げるんだ。目で見るのではなく、感覚で捉えるんだ。勢いを利用して打ち込め。手加減するな。
Eventually, his final training takes him into the deep silk spider underground caverns. There, he has to fight one of the silk spider queen's offspring to the death. All silk spider assassins must undergo this final test. Bushiki must prove his mettle and earn his resilience from the spider's poisonous stings.
私はここに父、そして兄弟の名誉のために来ました。私はシルク、スパイダーの暗殺者になるためにここにいるのです。
Chapter 4, First Mission. Bushiki embarks on his first mission as a silk spider assassin filled with anticipation and trepidation. He accompanies a group of silk spider assassins and infiltrates a Shisori temple to steal secret war plans meant for Emperor Ikendo. During the heist, Bushiki glimpses a beautiful woman in a separate room. She is Yumewa, the daughter and sole heir of Emperor Ikendo. At first, filled with intense rage, Bushiki becomes determined to assassinate her, to exact revenge for his parents' death, but his assassin mates stop him just in time. The detour made their escape difficult, and they face a massive samurai warrior who stands in their way. Bushiki's silk spider assassin brothers fight him, some dying in the fray. Bushiki uses his learnings and rage to destroy the samurai warrior and help the rest of his surviving mates escape. Little did he realize that Princess Yumewa was watching him from afar, studying his every move. Because of his distraction, Bushiki failed his first mission, and many of his assassin brothers lost their lives. Ormenthar has no choice. As punishment, the Brotherhood sentences Bushiki to be sealed underground in the Cavern of Spiders for a year. He does, however, teaches Bushiki one survival skill: the ability to slow one's breathing if he ever gets bitten. Chapter 5: A Destiny Fit for a Spider. After days lost in the underground caverns, Bushiki finally confronts the Silk Spider Queen. He has to think fast on his feet and convince her to release him.
お前とお前の暗殺者の仲間は昔から私を狙ってきた。なぜお前たちを逃がすべきなのだ。
anguished that so many of her offspring have been killed by the assassins over the years, the Spider Queen wreaks her vengeance. She bites Bushiki and injects her vengeful poison into him. Bushiki quickly uses his slow breathing technique Ormenthar taught him to survive the initial spread. Amused by his attempt to live, the queen tells Bushiki a simple story. She once knew a woman from her past who fell in love with someone in the Silk Spider Brotherhood. But alas, the woman was betrayed by the Brotherhood because love was forbidden for a Silk Spider warrior. Seeing Bushiki's resilience, the Spider Queen grants him his freedom, but on one condition. With her virulent telepathic poison in his blood, Bushiki must now listen to her voice in his head and obey her every command.
Torihiki ga dekiru kamo shirenai na. Omae no inochi to hikikai ni eien no chusei chi wo chigau no da.
Obey her, and the poison in his body will not kill him. This must remain their secret for all eternity. Chapter 6, Entrapment of Souls. A year later, Bushiki returns to the surface, weak but alive. He tells Ormenthar he has meditated on his failures and is now ready to fulfill important missions for the Brotherhood. Unknown to Ormenthar and the rest of his brothers, while he goes on missions, the Silk Spider Queen occasionally tells Bushiki to complete side missions. Still, with the Queen's poison in his blood and her command, he performs well, earning approvals from Ormenthar and the Brotherhood. One day, the Queen sends Bushiki to the heavily guarded fortress of Kinatawaga. He will have to assassinate the prized guest, who is staying the night. Despite Ormenthar's concerns over his health, Bushiki assures his mentor that he is fine and is able to lead the mission. But when he finally sneaks into the fortress, he realizes his mark is Princess Yumewa, daughter of Emperor Ikendo. Bushiki would have killed the princess outright, seeing he had always wanted vengeance for the death of his family. Just as he raises his tanto at Yumewa, something inside him fights back. A resistance or denial to the queen's voice in his mind. Surprise, Bushiki pulls away and escapes, the silk spider queen's voice calling his name repeatedly in his head. Chapter 7, Silk Strings Around the Heart. With the silk spider queen's curse in his blood, Bushiki takes refuge in a nearby grove. Unbeknownst to him, Princess Yumewa follows him and finds him in pain and near death. At first, Bushiki hesitates, wondering how she was able to track him down. It seems she is able to sense the deadly poison slowly consuming his heart. She assures him she means him no harm. She's been trained in the healing art of the Kindaiyo and is able to at least slow down the poison. Bushiki relents, surprised that Yumewa heals by singing. As her soothing voice penetrates his soul and spirit, the shriek of the Spider Queen fades, and he is able to breathe again. Despite their conflicting allegiances, a secret friendship and relationship develops between Bushiki and Yumewa. In secret, far from the prying eyes and reach of the assassin brotherhood, the Silk Spider Queen, Ormenthar, and Emperor Ekendo. Yumewa tells Bushiki that though she is the Emperor's daughter, her mind is her own. She wants to end the war, just as all of Arisander does, but she is still trying to figure out a way without outrightly forcing her father's hand.
私はあなたを傷つけるつもりいません。ありません。つまらいなくて気がつけています。おつまりがあなたの体には古い毒が残っています。私が助けましょう。
Chapter 8, Doomed Destiny. After some time, Ormenthar soon learns that Bushiki has fallen in love with Emperor Ikindo's daughter, Yumewa. He fears the worst, that it was she who uncovered secrets of the Brotherhood and leaked them to her father. Bushiki denies her involvement. They argue, which leads into a fight between master and student. Just as Ormenthar is about to deal a stunning blow on Bushiki, the old man holds back. While love is forbidden for the Assassin Brotherhood, Bushiki's love for Yumewa is deep, something Ormenthar did not foresee. Suddenly, without Yumewa's healing presence, Bushiki loses control of his senses, and the Silk Spider Queen takes over. The words that come out of Bushiki's mouth surprise Ormenthar. It is the Silk Spider Queen, demanding why the assassins have been killing her offspring. Ormenthar admits the Spider Queen has always intended to grow her army of spiders. Without the assassins, her army could overrun Arisander. It is then that Ormenthar realizes who is Bushiki's true master. It is she who has been using Bushiki to turn the tide of the war in her favor. Before Ormenthar can react, Bushiki, or the Silk Spider Queen, stabs the old man.
メンサー、お前にはわからないだろう。彼女は私を正気に保ってくれる。彼女のおかげで私は自分らしくいられるのだ。
Ormenthar looks into Bushiki's eyes and asks, "Is this she, Yumewa, whom you love? Or the Spider Queen, whom you now serve?" Ormenthar then lets go of Bushiki and dies. Bushiki drops his weapon and screams. Bushiki takes Ormenthar's half-torn red sash and wears it over his forehead. At first, The assassin brothers blame Bushiki for Ormenthar's death. But then, crawling out from the underground caverns are thousands of giant white spiders, the offspring army of the Silk Spider Queen. The assassin brothers then bow to Bushiki, making him the leader of the Brotherhood. Chapter 9: Curse of the Silk Spider Queen Warriors. Overpowered by the Spider Queen's telepathy, a guilt-ridden Bushiki leads his army of white spiders and assassins in the dead of night and foggiest of days. At first, they stealthily infiltrate and assassinate leaders and servants loyal to Emperor Ikendo. Princess Yumewa tries to find Bushiki, but he has become reclusive and lost in shadow. As the Spider Queen's hold on Bushiki strengthens, he becomes bolder, attacking generals and warlords from the Shasori Empire. Bushiki's bloody massacre across Arisander, sacrificing even innocents, has become a major stain on the Shasori Empire, a development even Emperor Ikendo can no longer ignore. If Bushiki, his assassins and spiders have become a greater blight of terror than the Scorpion army itself. Ikendo has no choice but to order his best spies to locate and capture Bushiki and bring him to his mountain fortress. Meanwhile, a desperate Princess Yumewa sneaks into the Silk Spider sect and enters the underground cavern of the Silk Spider Queen alone. Chapter 10: Vengeance from a Bitter Past. Intentionally setting himself up, Bushiki lets himself get ambushed and caught. He is eventually brought before Emperor Ikendo in his throne room. There, Ikendo confronts Bushiki and tells him how much he admires the orphan boy who's become a master assassin and killing machine. Ikendo also understands why his daughter Yumewa is besotted with him. He then tells Bushiki the story of Yumewa's mother, a woman both he and Ormenthar once loved. After Yumewa was born, she mysteriously disappeared. Some say she went looking for Ormenthar. Others say she blamed Ikindo for her misfortunes. Since then, Ikindo has been searching for her, conquering lands to find her. When Bushiki finally speaks, Ikindo could not believe his ears. These were words from the woman he once loved, and yet here stands Bushiki, a young boy out to spite him.
Doshite 可能なのだ。彼女がまだお前の中に生きているなんてどうして可能なのだ。
家族の死を復讐をしてやる。幾度お前の命を終わらせてやる。
In a sudden rage, Ikindo strikes Bushiki with his katana. But through the Spider Queen's prowess, Bushiki breaks out of his chains and fights back. Ikindo realizes he is not just fighting Bushiki, but the woman he once loved. Chapter 11, The Princess and the Spider Queen. Princess Yumewa finds her way into the Silk Spider Queen's inner sanctum. She pleads to the queen to release Bushiki from her poisonous curse. The Spider Queen laughs, telling Yumewa she has been expecting her all along. Yumewa, however, isn't going to let the queen deceive her. She uses her Kendai-yo art form to lull the Spider Queen into a deep sleep, slowly edging closer with a knife in hand.
愛は儚いもの。時と共に老いる記憶のようなもの。だが毒のある愛。 自分の内側を蝕み自分を変えてしまうような愛、そういった愛は時の果てまで忘れられないものだ。
愛は儚い毒のある、愛は内側から蝕む、海そして帰っていく時の果てまで。
Despite being bitten, Yumewa disentangles herself and strikes the queen's eyes with her hairpins. But as the queen's poison overpowers Yumewa, she suddenly feels something transform inside of her. With a sigh, the former silk spider queen utters her final words before drawing her last breath and turning into dust.
一人の女王が死ねば別の女王が立ち上がる。娘。
Chapter 12, Silk Threads of a Warlord. Meanwhile, in the Emperor's throne room, the epic battle between Bushiki and Ikendo continues. This while, Bushiki has been echoing the Spider Queen's words, weakening Ikendo's mind, tearing his heart asunder. Spider Queen dies and Yumewa transforms into the new Spider Queen, she is able to see and hear Bushiki's voice as if she is right there in the room with him. It seems Bushiki's poisonous curse continues to connect them. Seeing how far gone Bushiki is, Yumewa sings into Bushiki's head as he fights her father. Her voice slowly fills his mind, soothing him. From the queen's spell, Bushiki finds himself inching his katana towards ending Ikendo's life. He hears the Spider Queen's voice, telling him to let go. has lost much of his significance due to Bushiki's recent campaign. Yumewa then shows Bushiki a vision in his head, that Ikindo's time as the Scorpion Emperor will fade and Arisanda will soon be free. As the Spider Queen, Yumewa releases Bushiki from his curse. Before she fades from his mind completely, he thought he heard her whisper goodbye. Calming himself and lowering his blade, Bushiki remembers Ormenthar's last words. He lets go of Ikindo and escapes. Chapter 13, Requiem for a Silk Spider Assassin. Bushiki ventures into the underground cavern by himself. He confronts the Silk Spider Queen, angry for all of her deception, betrayal, and lies. He is tired of her games. The Spider Queen, Yumewa, in this instance, asks Bushiki, "Do you still trust me? Will you believe me still if I were to tell you the truth? Will you still love me?" Bushiki scoffs at her remarks. Then, he finds Yumewa's torn and ripped clothing on the ground. Filled with anguish, Bushiki accuses the Spider Queen for killing and eating Yumewa, swearing to end her legacy once and for all. She could easily stop him, but chooses not to. She has foreseen this moment. She also knows eventually her mind will be lost and the poison will fully consume her. She gracefully lowers her head for him. Raising his katana, a tearful Bushiki whispers for Yumewa and severs the Silk Spider Queen's head from her body, ending Yumewa's life. Solitude of the underground caverns, Bushiki holds Yumewa's silk robes in his hands and weeps for days. Many peaceful years later, Bushiki would tell his apprentices how much he missed Yumewa and the songs she used to sing to him. It was a forbidden love that continues to poison him night and day, festering inside of him like a memory that will never, ever go away. When Bushiki was finally laid to rest, he chose to be buried in the underground cavern, in the same place where he believed Yumewa was killed. the caverns, you might just hear the echo of a woman's voice singing to her one and only Bushiki. Chapter 14, Bushiki Theme Song.
Bushiki, Bushiki, what storm do you carry? Ormenthar has made you the man you can be. You mewa, what secrets do you hide across Arisanda, Ikando's vengeful tide? Silk spider warriors, let Bushiki fight. A shadow cloak he wear, an assassin of the night. You mewa songs like a river in his blood. You mewa sorrows etched forever in his heart. Deep underground, where the spider queen lies, tormented soul, she hears Bushiki's cry. Across Aris and all the whirlwind sighs as Bushiki see his destiny in his mind. Silk spider warriors, let Bushiki fight. A shadow cloak he wears, an assassin of the night. You mewa songs like a river in his blood. You mewa sorrows etched forever in his heart. Bushiki, どんな嵐を抱えているの？Ormentharが一人前の男にした。夢はどんな秘密を隠しているの？アリサンダル中に金土の復讐の潮。スパイダーの戦士たち、武士を戦わせて、影の街灯をまとい夜の暗殺者。夕日はの歌は彼にのく平和のように、ルの悲しみは彼に刻まれて、地下深くにスパインが横たわる。苦しい苦しなしたち、武士の叫びを聞くがりり去る中に世界の風が吹き、武士は自分の運命を心にのみる。シルクスパイダーの戦士たち、武士を戦わせて、影の赤いトマト、夜の暗殺者。夢はの歌は彼の血の中の川の tragedies.